Hey guys, so this is my first time speaking, so be nice. All right, so I work for Virtru. I'm part of the platform team, and I always work with Virtru engineers to ensure that we continuously improve our developer tools. I've been in a lot of your shoes where I struggle to secure the data and make sure that the people getting the data are supposed to get it and the people not getting it are not supposed to get it. We found that protecting the data at creation is key. So the classic approach would be just don't let anybody use the data, right? Just keep it inside your network, lock it down, don't let anybody access it, including the people who should have access to it. Just don't let anybody touch it, right? Unplug the computer, shut it down. Users tend to think that if data is secure, it is inaccessible, leaving cloud services and collaboration tools out of the realm of possibility. This has been true in the past, but it doesn't have to be anymore, right? Because we have the TDF. And you can see it's an open standard. It's a wrapper for files that encrypt content and add additional controls to the keys to ensure the data owner's requirements are fulfilled, regardless of data size or type, wherever it goes. Because we encrypt it, send it out wherever it's got to go, right? And then you can revoke the key access, and no one can decrypt it. So we opened up the platform to accelerate adoption of the TDF and the sharing of data out to the cloud, to anybody who needs it. So we based the Virtru SDK on the TDF, and I'm losing my spot, on the TDF, an open standard that allows strong encryption, attribute-based controls, audit data, so anything anybody does with any of the keys, any of the data, is audited, and you can get that and remediate it, right? So you can revoke access, anything like that, using the SDK. Data agnostic encryption, offline create, so you can delegate access to whoever needs to be the owner of the data, and key server federation, meaning two companies can both have to agree that person A should have to is able to access that data. It's pretty cool. So TDF was created by Will Ackerley when he worked at the NSA. Will and John founded Virtru in 2013 using TDF as the basis for data-centric, persistent security. Look, point solutions, they're great. They don't work so well, and they only cover certain use cases. So the native controls just leave gaps. You lose visibility and control of your data as soon as it leaves the network, if not before, even inside your network, depending on what you're doing. Certain industries lack the visibility. The lack of visibility prohibits the sharing of data outside of the IT control perimeter. Well, with Virtru, you get to share inside, outside. You can track the data, who has access, remediate actions, and see if someone's doing something crazy, like someone's accessing the data every 5 seconds. Well, probably shouldn't be doing that. And just shut it down. Okay. TDF allows the control while it's in your network and once it leaves. The Virtru toolkit allows simple and consistent control for the duration of the data lifecycle. It's cross-platform and data agnostic and helps data owners maintain control who has access to the data. So this is our TDF stack based on the TDF. We have identity federation, the CAS, and the EAS. CAS is keys, entity is who, and then combined you send them down to the person requesting access, and you control it all with the Virtru SDK. And, well, okay. Completely lost my spot. So, okay, so let's go straight to the use cases. This is a very simple use case, and I hope you guys can see it. I don't know if it's clear enough. Basically, on the left is the creator, and it's going to create a TDF out of a text string that I entered, in this case, ACOD 2020, and that's going to print it out to screen. It's going to encrypt it, and that's going to be the policy ID that gets printed out to screen. And then it's going to loop through and revoke it and unrevoke it, expire, unexpire. And then on the right side, I have a different user that's just going to keep trying to access the data over and over again. So you'll see what happens. Hopefully the internet works with me here. There it goes. I didn't know what the internet was going to be like, so I didn't want to do it live. And that's not the one. Okay, here we go. Thanks, guys. Okay. So you see I entered the string ACOD 2020, press enter, spits back out again because that's what's in the text file, and then it gets encrypted. And then on the right-hand side, it keeps trying to access it. What gets spit out on the right is the actual contents of the text file. Then I loop through on the left-hand side, on the creator side, and I expire it. And on the right-hand side, it's unavailable. I just go back and forth with that a few times. But these are two completely different users. So this use case would look something like, I give you a file on the network, and I can just shut it down because that's not your role anymore. Okay, so let's go down to the next one. In this case, instead of using just text, I do something a little bigger, a doc file that is a medical record, let's say. And I go ahead and I create it on the bottom. Right over here is just the file system. And I encrypt it, and then I try to access it using a different user. So on the bottom, it gets created. Then it gets encrypted. Then on the right, so I double-click it. Because we use the HTML wrapper, anybody can open it that has a web browser in our secure reader. And then I already authenticated to speed this up, but it checked for my keys to make sure I was allowed to access it. In this case, I expired the TDF on the right. Then eventually it'll get unexpired, and I will have access to it again. Okay, so that's going to run through a loop a little bit more, but same thing. Okay, so healthcare is just a major issue. I mean, you guys saw the stuff that happened with the DCOM a couple days ago, right? So everything has to go in a centralized repository because that's just how it works, right? You have to know where to go to get your stuff. And you have to share and comply at the same time, which is very hard. So the solution is just protect the data, and protect each piece of data individually. So you can revoke the keys for one file, but not another at any time. And gets to travel with the data. So you don't even need the data in your control. You just shut the keys down so no one can access it. And you have the audit. So it's pretty cool. It's really slick. That's to me, I think the audit is fantastic because you can remediate anything. You can even use it like a SIM or something like that and feed it into some machine learning. It's crazy. So obviously, with medicine, there are so many people putting data in, taking data out, that you have to know who has access to it. So in this case, I take on the left is this machine. Actually, it's a Mac. And on the right is a Windows machine out in AWS. I encrypt a file, and using the Bodo3 library, I send it up to an S3 bucket. And then on the right-hand side, I download it manually just to show you that I'm downloading it. And then I open it up in Secure Reader, the same Secure Reader we saw earlier. And bear with me, the Windows machine is very, very slow, so it takes a second. So I showed you the folder's empty. Okay, so that's the file name. It gets uploaded to the bucket on the right. Well, it got uploaded on the Mac, and then on the right, I'm checking it in the same bucket. I just manually download it, and then I open it in the Secure Reader again. And on the right, it's looping through and expiring and unexpiring. So it doesn't have to be the same machine, different networks. I don't need control over anything. So I can actually put this TDF on your file system and revoke it. Okay, now it's unexpired. So it should now show up. Okay. So this stuff's pretty cool. I think you should use it. So if you want to get started with the SDK, you can go to developer.virtru.com. We currently support JavaScript, Node, obviously the same, Python, C++. Soon we'll be releasing a RESTful API in a Docker container that you too can run on whatever you want. Because we don't have the data, we only have the keys. So you still have to encrypt it or decrypt it on your infrastructure, something you have control over. You don't only have the SDK to encrypt and decrypt and control the policies. You also have additional tools that are just available to you. So you have the Virtru Dashboard, which is a web-based, here it is. It's a web-based, SaaS web-based policy management tool that you also get access to advanced controls, the same controls you have access to in the SDK. And then you also get access to the Secure Reader. That's what I showed here. If you make a TDF, which is you take some file and encrypt it, and then you decide to just make the extension HTML, the file itself is encrypted. And then when you click it, it opens up a secure reader, which is a JavaScript web tool that downloads to your machine, and it decrypts inside the browser on your machine. It's not portal-based or anything like that. So it's pretty cool. And you have access to that. So you take any file, make an HTML, you can send it to anybody in the world, and they can open it because everybody has a web browser. Even a phone, it works on your phone too. And then you also have our documentation. We have everything's documented. All the APIs are documented, SDK and all that stuff. And then we have Slack channels. So come join our Slack. You'll talk to me, and I'm always there for you. And yeah, do you guys have any questions about the tech? I know I kind of breezed through it pretty quick because I was super nervous. Not all at the same time. Anybody? No? Okay. Well.